I got a question for you guys. This is random.
Let's go.
It's something you've kind of already talked about, but do you really look at artists who do everything by themselves in a higher light than somebody who has a lot of collaborators? Wouldn't just the overall end product matter?
Okay, so from a producer standpoint, the stage I'm at in my life, I'm more collaborative now. I look forward to it. I enjoy it. I enjoy getting stuff back and molding it and shaping it. You know the experience. The reason I said that is because that is the purest in me, to be able to appreciate somebody that can actually do all of that. It's almost the producer conversation, the Khaled verses, like that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about the product, right? If we're being honest, it's about the product.
Right.
The purest in me really appreciates the fact that somebody can, we'll just throw numbers out there, produce 70% of their album, have a handful of features, and still make a dope project. Like that, when I look at it for what it is, because I know what the work is, just like you, just like all of us, I'm like, man, he really put his foot into that. So I appreciate it. I respect it.
I feel like it's good. Like it's only like an added bonus if everything is good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like if I make an entire project myself and I have no features on it, it doesn't matter until the product is like actually really, really good. If it's anything less than stellar, then I feel like maybe you should have reached out to somebody else to contribute in specific ways or something. I feel like there are definitely artists that I've known and I've known for a long time, and even myself in the past, where I got out of it a long time ago, but to where like I almost put like badge points or merit points just because, you know, like, oh man, I engineered this myself, or I produced this myself, or I did my own artwork. And then I just got to the point, it's like, why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just utilize all the people around me that are actually really good at what they do, and then just me focus on the stuff that I'm really good at in that aspect? But
I used to get caught into the same thing, but it took a while for me to understand and get the feeling of the collaboration when it works. And it's okay to be like, okay, this person can do something that I can't do, but it's all for the greater good of the record. Once you can get your ego out of the way and realize that, you can make some amazing music.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But it's just the purest thing. That's all when I said that, because at the end of the day, if it's trash, I don't care if you play every instrument.
I think,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and another thing, and then I'll ask you guys, but the only other thing I would say is, like, from an artist standpoint, if you're an independent artist, you have so many responsibilities to do so many different things. And to me, it just started making more sense just to free up my time to be able to focus more on stuff that I was better at. So, but
no, that makes sense. There's a couple artists I can think of that probably would fare better if they did take that approach.
Did less.
One of my favorites is Crit. I think that if he had somebody actually engineering and producing a lot more of his stuff, like them just hone in and find a sound and let them take on, let's say 90% of it,
right, and
him still do 10% of it.
He can still be a part of the process, but
yeah, exactly.
But have somebody else like spearhead it.
Exactly.
Which is a huge difference.
Yeah.
I think there would be more ears on his music. Like, we like him. Personally, he's one of my favorite.
Yeah,
but
he's dope.
I feel like he could be a lot better and a lot further in his career if he probably took that approach.
You know who else falls under that category to me, who's also someone that we're fans of that's dope? To me, is 𝐀𝐁𝐎. And the reason I say that is because it's not even necessarily about, he doesn't produce. So it's not like he making all the beats that I know of. Now, he might make beats. I'm not sure. I don't think he produces.
I don't think so.
But with Sky, the one thing I notice about some of his projects is his pen, when he writes his bars, I know what I'm going to get with the bars, but I feel like his hook structure and cadence seems to be similar throughout the albums. Like, versus maybe getting somebody else to pen a hook, or maybe somebody else to write a lick to sing here or there, just to kind of maybe break a little bit of the monotony.
Right.
I think he could take just a shot at that, because he knows how to scope amazing projects. We all know that, mixtapes.
And he just announced that he's putting out a new project, all in the vein of it's
themed for somebody. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What's the 80s Coke
I'm about to see
series?
Miami Vice.
Franklin.
Snowfall.
Snowfall. Yeah, it's a whole project based from the perspective of Franklin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be interesting.
It's called The Mind of a Saint.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Franklin Saint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can actually see that. I'm a huge 𝐀𝐁𝐎 fan.
That's dope too. When you think, because you know how he is. Like, you know,
it's going to be great. Like he's one of the best conceptual writers that hip hop has ever seen.
Yeah, his stories are amazing.
He's just one of those guys where I just think a little injection of a different pen from a hook standpoint. I don't know what it could be. Could be good, could be bad.
Yeah, because I think to your point, and maybe it's to his own detriment, and maybe it's just what it is. You can always tell 𝐀𝐻's writing because of how he writes.
Yep.
You know how he's going to deliver the bars. You know, like even in the songs where he's got that song where he's like I could have, what was it called? Like I could have been a trap rapper or something like that. Or I don't remember. Like he switched it up, and I actually kind of liked it when he did a little bit. But in general, it can like listening to an entire 𝐀𝐻 project. If you're already familiar with his work, like if you're already a fan, you kind of know what you're going to get every time. And I think maybe breaking that up a little bit maybe would be a little bit better. I mean, so I can see that.
And we're talking minor
for sure
adjustments because he's so great at what he does, and I always listen to him for him. I know the bars is going to be there. I know he's going to have entendres.
I can't wait till
he doesn't drop duds.
I can't wait till you watch The Wire too.
Oh yeah, why y'all keep putting me on
like
blast,
all this
man?
stuff that is surrounding The Wire.
Because it
would make so much more sense.
Here's why I always say that, because I've seen The Wire all the way through like 3 or 4 times.
Right.
And I catch all the Wire references. You haven't seen them, and you still like all of 𝐀𝐻's work.
I do. So it's going to be that much colder when I go back.
When you can actually catch all of the multiple entendres that he has going on, like it's going to be even more crazy. So
that's on my next list to binge watch. So y'all know you need to come on. I ran through Game of Thrones, which was fire. So now I'm gonna shift it over to
even the What We Do video will make more sense to
I mean,
half the people in there. Oh, there we go.
Hey. We get a
raid.
Welcome, Harvey Dent.
DJ Harvey Dent.
And the crazy thing about saying this is like I'm such a 𝐀𝐻 fan. Like even being any critical at all of him even just feels bad.
It feels weird because I'm actually like we're really fans of dude. Like
I would still be fine if he didn't switch anything up, but I can see that.
Just the observation,
I can see that
because who knows what might happen. It's just like with Crit. Like if Crit just step back a little bit, who knows what might happen?
Yeah,
you know.
I look honestly. You guys make art. I'm 100% a consumer of art, and whatever. If the end result is something that I enjoy, like I don't care.
You gonna hit with the loan? I don't care.
We have a new emote. I think it's in here. I think it's an I don't care emote.
Yeah. So quite honest, because think about someone like Prince who goes in, writes, produces, plays all the instruments. Love those Prince records.
The nerd in me loves that, by the way.
But it doesn't make me like Michael Jackson's records any less because Rod Temperton and Quincy Jones. And,
that's true.
That's true. And Stevie Wonder with Off the Wall. Like he's had so many collaborators, people who, he's gone in and bounced ideas off of to create that magic. At the end of the day, how it makes me feel when I'm just listening to it in my earphones or out on the dance floor, with the pretty girls, like that. I don't care. I really don't care.
The thing about Prince, though, and I actually thought about that, and composers like him, like even Stevie Wonder, these type of artists, I think they're in a whole different realm because let's say they were taught how to play instruments and compose before they were writing songs.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So they've kind of had time to master that.
Yeah.
And then they talk about how much stuff is away in Prince's vault that we'll never hear. So he probably did a whole lot of experimentation. Then he had like people like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They can come in and kind of listen to his stuff and say you should do it this way, that way. Not necessarily them composing it, but bouncing it off of their ears, and then him releasing it to the public.
How did he work with Morris in the time? Was it like
he wrote for the time?
He wrote and produced all those songs for Morris Day and the Time.
Okay, so
and they got some heat too on the low.
But they're all from the same.
Right.
Yeah, they all grew up in bands, around Minneapolis.
I just wasn't sure like what his.
But because if you listen to it. Literally, there are versions of those Morris Day and the Time songs that have been released that just have Prince singing on them.
Yeah. I mean, 777-9311 sounds like a Prince song.
And the thing is, he would put other aliases down.
Yep.
Because, at that time, radio programmers would, they'd feel some type of way about a particular sound saturating the radio because at one point you might mess around and hear 3 songs produced and written by Prince in a row.
Yeah.
Just, Prince, you'd hear Morris Day, you'll hear Sheila E. Mm-hmm. You'll hear
not Climax,
you'll
Vanity 6.
So all those records out at the same time, and instead of them just saying, oh, we can only work this one record, by this one artist, he's like, okay, I'm going to put my music out under all these different artists, and you're still going to play it.
Yeah. And then you had a whole band situation with the new Power Generation. Mm-hmm. So he was composing, but they were actually playing. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, that's how it was with the Revolution with Dr. Fink.
That's true.
Wendy and Lisa, the whole crew.
I mean, at the end of the day, I guess we can all agree on the consensus is the product dope or not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's harder for me to apply that to the producer conversation because I'm so attached to it as well. Because at the end of the day, people will say, well, it's the number one album. Well, it's the number one album. And I'm like, yeah, it's the number one album, but some smoke and mirrors in there too that kind of.
But once again, the smoke and mirrors, that's you from a creative standpoint.
It is. I agree, but I admit that though.
But when people, like I said, but like the end result, do people enjoy it? Do they dance? Do they groove to it?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Remember it was I can't remember the songwriter where she acted like she didn't know how splits work and sampling worked when it was time to talk about Beyonce. Oh gosh, I should know.
The writer?
Keyless or Kellis?
No.
Police.
Not Diane Warren. I can't remember.
I always butcher her name.
A lot of songs.
Hey, Jay Boy, he talking about old man 𝐀𝐁𝐎� and
hold on,
Juice.
Old man 𝐀𝐁𝐎�. I always mess up Khalees's name and Khaled's name. Those are the two I always mess up.
Shout out to old man 𝐀𝐁𝐎�. They did him wrong.
But because people, they'll go in.
At least I asked.
And their criticism of Beyonce will be like, well, look at all these songwriters and look at these, all this, that, and the third.
Have you looked at Adele's?
And you know what? Nobody cares. Nah. When the end result is you turn those songs on and people rush to the dance floor and they play them over and over and they enjoy them, and this is a soundtrack to the good times in their lives. Yeah. They do not care. Like you think, as a creator, I can see where it would be frustrating, but as a consumer, you got to understand, people do not care.
Even as a DJ, you have your DJ purists.
I just don't care.
That want to go in and they do a lot of extra stuff and it's dope.
Yeah.
But the only people that's really checking for that are DJs.
Other DJs, yeah.
Like you can go in there and play a dope set and you could have flipped it, smacked it, rubbed it down, whatever, and nobody's paying attention to it but the DJs. Everybody there, all they care about is how it's mixed and what songs you're playing and the transitions. That's pretty much it.
I will say this from a consumer, because I don't DJ, so I can remove myself from this one. I prefer a DJ that can consistently rock a party versus I didn't come for all the rest of the stuff that you're talking about. Now that's dope in its own setting.
That's most people though.
But I want to hear, like you said, I just want to hear a dope set. That's what I came for. Came there to hear. So